Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, it's me again. Guess I wasn't planning on doing another broadcast, but hey, the things you stumble across these days. Good afternoon, everyone. Yep, mic's working. Planning on doing another broadcast. Yeah, I went back to the Bluetooth. The other one, I caught all the feedback. I'm having some internet connection issues, but I'm going to try to swing through this. First off, apology for the titles. I don't like using clickbait, but due to how certain organizations sometimes work, they like come after people when you use their name and go after them and report the facts. So, I don't have millions of dollars to protect my ass. So we'll just talk about a red furry Muppet, which I'm sure by now you guys all know what I'm talking about. Cuddly, tickle me. Yeah, I think you get it. And we all know the #1 fake news network out there right now is, so it covers my bases. But I'm also going to be discussing public broadcasting service, PBS, yeah, that's right. And, everybody loves sesame seeds, and, sometimes they name a street after it. Yeah, I can have fun with this when I want to. But on a serious note, this one's for you parents out there. What your kids have been watching. I mean, I've watched it over the years, how they slowly introduce things into their skits, their characters. I mean, I grew up. I remember what it's like. Public broadcasting was, hey, watch Mr. Rogers, watch Sesame Street, watch PBS. It's educational, and it is. But it's also, of late, it's been psychological programming, brainwashing our kids, because they're getting to our kids at the earliest of age before we even put them in school. And this is important, especially after the stunt that was pulled today. And I've seen it with introducing racial issues. It's changed since, I watched it in the 80s, 90s. It's changed throughout the years with new generations springing up. They've introduced new things to it. And this is going to start explaining why some of our younger generation is the way they are today. Because they use this very same tactic. They get our kids at an early age. They start teaching them it's okay to be this way. It's okay. Stuff that we wouldn't normally teach them. And we don't realize it because, hey, it's PBS. It's Sesame Street. It's Mr. Rogers. It's whatever the trending thing is for kids these days. I don't have kids, so it's hard for me to explain, but I've been around people, or I've lived with my friend for 2 years, and I've watched what his kids watch. So they get hooked on certain things, and it's over and over, and you happen to pay attention, and sometimes you're paying attention, it's like, whoa, what the hell are they showing them? But today, it went a little too far. One, it was a slap in the face. They're using this, knowing that children are going to be watching it, to, in a sense, disrespect our Supreme Court justice, disrespect our Constitution. That wasn't cool. I won't stand for it. So let's get on to the real issue here. And for real, any advertisers out there that actually sponsor these idiots should pull your advertising from them. Start hurting them more. It really hurts because what they did today was uncalled for. And actually, I want you guys to watch it. In fact, I want you to watch a certain point in it. I posted on Twitter. So 4 minutes, 37 seconds into the video. Just skip right there. Because something was said that I don't know if I'm just not catching it right. I mean, I've listened to it a half a dozen times. I put earplugs in, or headphones, earbuds, so I could hear it properly. I'm almost positive that this IRC guy, what's his name? Let me go look. David Miliband, when he talks about helping teachers, he says something else. Can somebody please correct me what he says? I might be just hearing something that I'm just hearing, but I think I heard a certain word, and I want it clarified. Did he just say that? Because if he did, that should be a wake-up call to all you parents out there. And you should be demanding, or you should be boycotting, not just the fake news that did this little stint, but also the Red Furry Muppet and the IRC. I'm all about what some of the issues they bring out because, you know, they do touch on things. But at the same point, we have to realize what they're teaching our kids. They're teaching them at the most susceptible ages to where they can be manipulated, where our kids really don't know rights from wrong. We know this. Scientists have said this. It's proven. We have to find the right role models, the right people, the right programs and shows for our kids to watch. That's not going to influence politics, influence political views, or something that's going to speak negative about certain ban issues. You know, I wish I had more followers right now. Really, I do. Guys, as far as chat goes, I don't know if I'm having issues saying I'm unable to connect to chat here. Maybe if I pop it up, I can keep it up. But yeah, that was just, what the hell? Nope, unable to connect to chat. Please try it again later. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm showing full bars for internet. My computer to my router, so I've got good internet connection. Maybe because I talked about a certain subject, I don't know. The point is, you know, I've always known, I just never talked about it or voiced my opinions about it. And when I have talked about it, it's been with a few other parents that we've discussed. You know, that's why these parents homeschool their kids. Are selective on what they watch, especially at those early ages. You know, we sometimes forget how much they pick up just from TVs. We should know better because a lot of us, we picked up a lot of things from TV. A lot of it we picked up from public broadcasting. A lot of it we picked up and learned. You know, we learned some of our morals, some of how to be nice to others through programs like Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, and whatever there is out there now. I'm just rattling off what was in my time to know Sesame Street is, obviously, because I'm kind of talking about it. But when they start talking about refugees, terrorism, that's not something that our kids should be being learned from these types of broadcasts. That should be from us, the parents. I wouldn't even want our teachers teaching them, unless, you know, they're in junior high and high school. But when they start talking about issues like this, spinning it to make puns at our Supreme Court for ruling on the travel bans, to make the U.S. look like I'm trying to keep the verbiage clean in here, because this is a subject that actually got me really going. And if I find out what was said, yeah, we'll be doing another video, and I won't be keeping my words so nice. And I swear I swear I heard that dude say that. But like I said, check it out. Go right straight to 4 minutes, 37 seconds into the video where he talks about teachers, and yeah, let me know what you think. Right now I can't see because apparently my chat don't work. But it's been long now, and I've watched it. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes hey, let me show you what's going on, guys. And there's no excuse for this. So I'm back on my page here. Unable to connect to chat. Please try again later, except for I'm live broadcasting. I know I am, so I don't know. If somebody types in there, I might be able to see your chat. I don't know. If not, I'm going to remedy that here in a second. Because I'm going to open up my Uber conference and give you a number if you guys want to call in. Because the fact is, this is an issue that probably should have been talked about a long time ago. Like I said, when our kids are at the age 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that is when they're at their most innocence. That's what a lot of people refer to the innocence of childhood. That's where they're most susceptible to learning certain skills like language, rights and wrongs. And I found the little hit piece that the certain fake news group decided to use. Yes, I'm being very careful with my words here, because I've seen them go after channels in the past. And like I said, I don't have money to afford expensive lawyers to bail me out of the situation, and I've worked too hard to get this channel up. The fact is, it was a hit piece. The fact is, they use something that our children, most of our children, those that have them, I can't speak for myself, I don't have any, watch. I mean, I won't let my kids go. If I have kids, I wouldn't let them watch PBS anymore because of the stuff I've seen on there from other parents that let them watch it. My brother's kids watched it, and it's like a different set of morals than what I would teach my kids. I'm teaching them things that at that age they shouldn't be learning. And we keep asking, we all keep saying, what's wrong with these last few generations? Well, these last few generations have been brainwashed by public broadcasting networks, by these very shows. You want to know why the transgender movement had so much pull, why they've been able to manipulate race so easy? Go back and watch some of the older shows and see how they integrated them into their shows. Then a few years, we see it pop up. These issues pop up. It's been happening for a long time. And that falls on us parents to be more observing to what our children are watching and being subject to, especially at that early age. Because we all know, and most of us probably hate that little toy, various versions of that toy, because it is annoying. But kids love it. They listen to it. When they're watching the show, they take in what it says. And yes, the refugee problem and that stuff over there, it's a mess. But that's not for our children to be hearing. What they should have been hearing is what the Supreme, and these are the older, not even younger ones should be hearing this. When they're at the age to be learning these things about our Constitution, our history, then it's appropriate to teach them that. At least for me, that's my morals, my views, my beliefs, how I would raise my own if I had them. And it's based off how I was raised, I was allowed to watch that. But as I've grown, like I said, sometimes it pays to be a quiet observer, just watching things. But yeah, I mean, it just downright what I heard, see, made me sick. Because it was uncalled for. To do a piece like that, that's manipulating our children. That's saying what our Supreme Court ruled, what the travel ban meant, which is, when in truth, it's about protecting our country, protecting the citizens. The fact that what our president had set in place was national security, and it was within the constitutional rights for him to do so. But now, what we're going to happen for all the kids that actually tuned in and watched that, because it was done on Facebook, for all the kids that tuned in and watched that, and it might be something for us parents to pay attention to, what kind of type broadcasting that they're going to be doing here in the U.S. in the next few months or whenever their next season starts. To see if they're going to put what type of propaganda, because whether it's propaganda, brainwashing, psychological warfare, into their shows and series. Maybe we should sit back and actually go back and review some of the older episodes, older series. And maybe it's time we start bringing these things to light, because I know for a fact I've watched some episodes past years, and shortly after you start seeing a push for transgender, push for this, that. There's nothing wrong with that. I believe in equality. But I also believe that a parent has the right to choose when that is brought and to be taught to their children. Most parents grew up, like me, I grew up, that's cool. While you're working, cleaning house, doing something, it's something good for the child to watch. And entertain the child. Well, guess what? It's not just entertaining the child. The child's picking up on that, picking up on the messages. It's being taught this is right, this is wrong, by what they see and pick up and interpret on these shows that are actually meant for them. And it's time that we realize this. Like I said, the little stunt pulled the day using the little tickle me red furry Muppet. That wasn't cool. That was spitting on our Constitution. That was spitting on our Supreme Court. And it was disrespectful to every American the way it was worded in certain parts. And like I said, 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Go listen to it. Not hard to find. It's actually on that Fake News Network's channel here on YouTube. Just type it in and type in the Furry Muppets dude name, or type in the PBS show. Won't be hard to find. Because, he said something about helping children. But then he went a little step farther and said something about maybe the use of the T word as helping. Anybody that follows me on Twitter, I posted what I thought it was. Guys, I can't see chat. Which is actually sucks. This is the one time I want to see chat, to see if you guys are leaving any comments. Get your feedback on it. Because, like I said, they have no right teaching our kids these things. And it's been going on for a long time, and maybe many of us have overlooked it or not paid attention to it. The fact is, it just burns me. You guys don't know how much, because this channel is about we the people. We are the sons and daughters of liberty. We are people that believe in the Constitution, believe in equal rights, believe in the American way. When we have something done like this, it's not funny. I find no humor in it. And the real reason I don't find any humor in it, because I know the age bracket of kids that watch that will be subjugated to it. You guys have got to, like I said, maybe this time you guys revisit some of the stuff your children is watching. because it's where it starts. I've always known that. That's how it starts, and that's something I'm very much against, because it is psychological warfare. It's psychological reprogramming. That's why we have the issues we're having today. That's why we have the issues, more of the issues with racism. It's the way it's been brought into these types of shows, these types of programs. Yes, there's many educational parts in these programs, but there's also the subliminal parts that maybe we just overlook. I know some people, maybe I would like to see some people out there that kind of decode shows. Decode some of these. These are the real issues. This is where it starts. It starts with our kids, our young kids, when they're most susceptible. Our kids aren't going to be watching Wonder Woman. I'm talking about from ages 1 to 7. They're not. Some might. Take that back. Some might. I forget the day and age we live in. I know I wasn't allowed to watch a rated, barely a PG-13 movie until I was over 10. But different time period. But I know many families. No. And it's the irony of it. I just did a video talking about using public broadcasting service as an example of a way to fundraise for channels, how they do it, how that some creators can start actually using this platform to do it that way as well. Not even an hour later, I just happened to see a post about it. It's like, no, they didn't. Couldn't believe it. Went, watched the video again, got stuck on that one section where he just started talking about something, helping teachers and helping. It's like, wait, did you just say the word I think you said? I don't know. I might be hearing things. I might be misinterpreting it. I'm trying to keep it all the way real with you guys. It's stuff like that that should be uncalled for. And maybe it's time. I'm not the type of going through video, decoding things, but I know people that do it. Maybe they'll listen, maybe not. Or maybe somebody will point it out to them and tell them, hey, why don't you start going through this? Because trust me, if you go back through the years, you'll start seeing where some of these agendas, how were introduced in some of these broadcasts, on public broadcasting, that our children were watching, preparing them for it. So that's why we have the issues we're having now. Such a division, such people. It's okay to be this way. Because hey, it is what it is when it comes to the Constitution. The Constitution says we have the right to express ourselves, believe in what we want, practice what we want, the right to be equal. I'm all for that. I'm all for the black and white version of the Constitution as it states it, as it is. I'm not stripping anybody that right. I want to see everyone have those rights. But if my 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old doesn't need to be brainwashed and taught that at that early of an age. When the appropriate age comes, they will be taught that. But they will not be taught to disrespect our Constitution, to disrespect our Supreme Court. That was actually just completely disrespectful to every American in this country, what was said throughout that thing. And the video that's up, only an 8-minute segment of a 15-minute video, I guess it was done on Facebook. I mean, it's like I said, when it comes to these types, it's a game. It's what it is. Psychological warfare is a game to them. It's because it's used in marketing. It's used in everything. We're even as adults, we're bombarded with it every day. Our children should not be bombarded with it because at that age, they don't know the difference between right and wrong. They don't know the difference or how to defend themselves against such things. In a sense, what they're picking up is a lot of the wrong stuff because they can't differentiate. They don't know any better yet. You know, the old adage, most kids learn through, ouch, that's hot. Now they know it's hot. Now they know it's bad. They don't process it that way yet until, there's a reaction to it. So when they're being subjugated to these things, especially these subliminal things that are put in through there, it may not seem so subliminal to us because we get caught up in everyday things. We get caught up. It's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. It's teaching them to be respectful of other beliefs, practices, other genders, and transgenders. And we sometimes forget the question, well, hold up, wait, no. That's not appropriate at that age. And for some families, that's not appropriate at all. You know. I know, as what I learned from other parents teach people differently. Sometimes we get caught up where we're not going to teach our kids the way our parents taught us. I've actually changed my viewpoints on that one, just from seeing what's happened. But I don't blame my parents. I don't blame myself for changing my viewpoints. And actually now I'm going to blame it where the blame needs to go. On shows like this that we let our children watch. That's because it's age appropriate. It's meant to educate them, teach them how to count, teach them how to read, teach them their alphabet. But sometimes we miss the other stuff that's being shown to them. That's not appropriate. What was done today was not appropriate. And especially using probably the most famous one of them all. We all know it. He loves to be tickled. He'll laugh, giggle, and whatever. It drives us adults nuts. But even as children, we probably loved it. You know. And I hate the very fact that I have to censor myself and not say the names for what they are. But I've also watched other channels go down because of this very talking about this very subject. They know who they can pick on and who they can't. It's time that we start taking a stand against stuff like this. You want to find a common ground for everybody? Right there it is. Well, maybe not in this day of age, but most parents, when they actually wake up and see what's going on, especially now, certain networks just screwing themselves over and over, and people are waking up. Now might be the perfect time to push this and let the certain public broadcasting network know that we're going to stop funding you if you keep doing stunts like this. Pull our funding from them because, I mean, dude, I hope somebody watches that video and catches what I caught and confirms what I think I heard. Because if they did, and that's what was said, oh no, it's a different story. I will risk my channel on it then. I'll risk every channel I have on it. And I'm willing to play devil's advocate and saying maybe dude misspoke. I can play that game too. Have no problem. Give a person. I'm always about giving a person the benefit of the doubt. Although the way you came about it and the way it was used makes me inclined to side one way over the other. It's going to make me hold a very strong opinion on it. See, there's some of the other issues. We as parents were working. No, I can't feel. I keep saying that. You guys already know I'm not a parent, but you know what I'm saying. We as parents, we as family, we're working. We're not always paying attention to what our children are watching, what's being showed to them. We're not paying attention to the stuff that we would catch and correct them right then and there. And probably more than likely we'd stop letting them watch it. It's time that, we get caught up in also all the other stuff that's going on today. There's a lot of stuff going on today. Stuff that's distracting people from this. Like I said, most people, there'll be a lot of stay-at-home moms that are letting their youngins watch this, the seeds that you can find on a bun and named after a street, and not think about it, because that's what we watched. That's what we grew up on. That's how we learned, many of us, how we learned our alphabets. That's how we learned to talk. That's how we learned some things that are right and wrong. Think these things. It's time that maybe we take time out and review some of the stuff that our children are watching. Because this is actually one corporate company, one organization that we can hurt by boycotting, by not donating when they do 3 times a year that they do their fundraisers, because it is a public service. It's the public sponsors them. Most of their money, 90% of their money comes from public donations. That's what keeps them going. And they make millions off our donations. Through the books we buy, through sponsoring their, because we were taught, it's education. I know a little bit different because I witnessed what happened using PBS, how it took over every news network because something got reported and they didn't want it reported, and the next thing you know, every major news channel on regular TV was turned over to PBS. It has a few other uses where they get the other 10% of their money from, and that is one of them. Because for many of us, the public broadcasting service is what we find much what YouTube is like. It's an educational tool when used properly. This old house, Victory Gardens out with son, Yankee woodworking shop, and the various other good educational programs that are on there. But they don't mess with the adults, the older crowd. It's the young crowd where it begins. And they know that. It's also in the early mornings where we're just waking up, still getting our cup of coffee, getting breakfast, getting situated. Our kids over there watching it, content, happy, and we're happy. It's definitely something that you guys want to look into now. seriously, guys. Now, my personal opinions and beliefs aside, if I would have children, they would not be put in a public school system or a private school system. I've actually had the luxury of both growing up. And yes, I will, but I've also had the luxury of being in a different country experiencing these things. And that's one country you won't learn crap in the public school system. You go to a private school system if you want real education, at least in that country. Here it's a little bit different. 50-50. And here, unless you're rich, you're not putting your kids in a private school. But this issue that I'm talking about is even before we put our kids in school. Because, well, preschool's half a day. So the other part of half a day, they're being educated through the parents that let their kids watch these shows, through these as well. So let this be a wake-up call to you guys. And I encourage other streamers out there, other YouTubers that like decoding stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe pick up a few of those and decode them. See what messages are in there. I mean, it's not my thing, but I might do it, especially after today, after what they did, because like I said, it's not cool what they did today. And like I said, at least we might not be able to hurt the fake news. We can hurt the other one, because that's public funded. So hopefully you guys will watch this. If you did, talk about it with other parents. Talk about what you heard with other people. Start expressing your concerns about what your children and other people's children might be subjugated to. Because like I said, they start at an early ages. By removing our history from our history books and saying, oh, that puts a blemish on what America stands for today, that is stripping our core foundation, what this country was built upon, what it's supposed to mean, what it's supposed to stand for. It gives us the lessons of, history gives us a lesson, guys, and it should never be messed with. Some will say, yes, history is written by the conquerors. Well, here in the United States, we conquered. We got our independence, our freedoms. We created a structure to protect other people's liberties, other people's freedoms that are in this country. And it's a long time that we start getting back to those things. And I'm not going to use somebody else's slogan, because it's been twisted from left to right and up and down and sideways. But I am going to use what I grew up with. I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud what my Constitution stands for. I'm proud for the Bill of Rights and the liberties. I'm proud for each and every American citizen that honors and supports and goes to war or goes into the service to protect those very rights. And I'm not going to sit idly by and let something that I would originally would have let my kids watch teach them against these very core values that I hold dear, and that most Americans to this day still hold dear. Like I said, I'm going to end this stream since I can't monitor my chat. And as you guys can see, clearly, Even refreshing, it's still saying unable to connect. Oh wait, did it change? Oh, unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. And quite obviously, I've got great internet connection, and I find it hard to believe that all of a sudden, YouTube's having a glitch. It might, yeah. I'll restate that. It might be because this started before I was streaming. Of course, then again, there are smart TVs in this house. And my cell phone's right behind me. And, yeah, we know how that works, too. So, since I can't prove it, it'll just be one of those conspiracy theories to think on. But I'm almost positive I heard what was stated in that video. I just want to hear other people confirm it. And so, like I said, it's not hard to figure it out, like I said. It was done on Facebook, but it's also here on YouTube right now. In fact, it is titled... You guys know the name of the character, I hope, the Muppet. So, I'm going to say Red Furry Muppet shares how refugee kids are just like us on YouTube. And it's actually, you guys all know the fake news network I'm talking about. It's been all over the news. It was trending yesterday. It's on their channel. Four minutes and 37 seconds in. Start there. Listen to what he says. Message me if you think you heard what I heard. Or you just message me what you hear. What he said. Listen to about 3 minutes in. Listen to it's right after he talks about teachers, and then he says, and that part after the and is what I want to know. Message me what you guys hear he said. And I'll go over the messages. If it is what I think I heard, and I'm positive I heard, we'll do another video. And since you want to if they're screwing with my chat, I got other ways to get around that. I'll use Uber Conference and do a live call-in. Let you guys voice your opinions. I'm supposed to be doing a live stream on another channel at 7. I'm willing to cancel it. Because, yeah, this one just burnt me. And mind you, I'll even be nice and put this so it's for an adult audience only. If I do another video on this. No, I won't. I'm not going to censor myself like that. Plus, won't help me get the message across right. But either way, like I said, if you guys heard what I think I heard, or whatever you hear, just message me and tell me what you heard. You can find me on any of the links there. You can message me here on YouTube. Actually, you can go to my channel and go to the About section, and you can find my actual email address, and you can email me there if you want. I won't share what you guys said. It'll stay anonymous. And like I said, find out exactly, and I'm almost positive I know what I heard. I will do another broadcast, and we'll open up the phone lines. in the end, guys, start paying attention to what your children are watching. Review some of it. And if you got to take time out, do it. It's important. Because at that age is when they're most susceptible. That's when they're programmable. Which I hate using that word, but it's what it is. And what we're dealing with. Because they hear it, and they might not hear it from us because we might not catch it. So they're being taught that ideology is right. What they heard, what they've seen on that show is right. So let this be a warning to every parent out there. Start watching what let your wife watching letting your children watch. I'm gonna end the stream because I want to get something to eat. And somebody messaged me back on this. Like I said, sorry for the title, but right now it's, yeah. I've seen what they do to other channels when you start talking things about like this. So, but I think the title actually does speak for itself though. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later.